Good morning students. In previous class we have learned Gay-Lussac law, Avogadro's law, ideal gas equation. Okay. So now we will discuss about next law, that is Graham's law of diffusion. So first of all, entering into our topic, first of all, what is the diffusion? What is the diffusion? Okay. So diffusion is the mixing of two gases. What is the simple definition is the mixing of two gases. It is a simple definition, but in your book what happened, the property of a gas to spread and occupy all the available space is called diffusion. The property of a gas to spread and occupy all the available space. For example, you take a container. What happened? The gas is diffused throughout the container. That means the gas containing the spread as well as the occupy the property. So these properties of gases is called diffusion property. We call it as a diffusion property. Best example for the perfume bottle. When you take a perfume bottle and open it at the corner of the room, what happened? The perfume is spread throughout the room. Okay. And the next example, whenever we see intense sticks. Okay. So intense sticks burns. Okay, so perfume particles are intermixed with the air and occupy all the available space and spread out throughout the room. So these are the example for the diffusion. So once again, repeated definition of the diffusion is the property of a gas to spread and occupy all the available space is called diffusion. Okay. So here one of the important point is there, lighter gases diffuse more rapidly than the heavier gases. So lighter gases diffuse more rapidly than the heavier gas. Sorry, HEA, heavier gases. This is the important point. Next, so this is the information about a diffusion. Okay, so now what is the Graham's law of diffusion law? What is the diffusion law? So the diffusion law is at constant temperature and pressure, the rate of the diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to the square root of its density. So what happened? Mathematically representation of the Graham's law is the rate of the diffusion of a gas is inversely relationship to the square root of its density. So this is called at which conditions? At constant temperature and pressure. So this is a mathematical expression for the Graham's law of diffusion. Okay. So from this we can conclude that if you are removing the proportionality, so one of the proportionality constant is there, that is K by under root T. Now from this we can conclude that is a R1 by R2 equals under root of D2 by D1. So this is the principle is used for the problem solvings. At which conditions? At constant temperature and pressure will be constant. Next, we know that density is directly proportional to molar mass. So from this we can conclude that is a R1 by R2 equals under root d2 by d1 equals molar mass, that is a m2 by m1. Okay, so another principle is also known, that is molar mass is directly proportional to vapor density Vd. Okay, vapor density. So another principle is a R1 by R2 equals under root of d2 by d1 equals under root of molar mass m2 by m1 equals vapor density, that is Vd2 by Vd1. Okay, next another property, if you take it two gases, that is gas 1 and gas 2. So gas 1, gas 2 containing the same volumes, equal volumes, but the diffusion rate is different, that is T1 by and the T2. The gases are diffused at different times. What happened here? R1 is equal to V by T1 and the R2 is equal to V by T2. So now here we define the what is the R. What is the R? Okay. So here you see the R, that is the rate of diffusion. Rate of diffusion is defined as the volume of the gas diffused per unit time is called rate of diffusion. It is called rate of diffusion. Okay, rate of diffusion. So R is equal to V by T. Here volume of the diffused gas and per unit time, that is called as a rate of the diffusion. So from this we can conclude that is a R1 by R2. Now here R1 and R2, what happened here? V by T1 is equal to, if you divided by R2 means is a into T2 by V cancel. So that's why here T2 by T1. Whenever two gases containing the equal volumes but diffusion rate is different or diffusion time is different, diffusion times are different. Next, for example, volume is different. It is a gas 1, particular volume is V1, and another gas volume is this is a gas 2, this is volume is V2, but diffusion rate, that means diffusion time is same. So both gases different volumes, but both gases at the same time it will be diffused. So now here R1 is equal to V1 by T1. Next R2 is equal to V2 by V1 by T, V2 by T. So from this we can conclude that is R1 by R2 is equal to V1 by T into T by V2. So T cancel. So V1 by V2. Now the total R1 by R2, here we will write the R1 by R2 is equal to, so first one is a density is a D2 by D1. Next one is molar mass, that is M2 by M1, and the next one is vapor density, that is Vd2 by Vd1, and the last one is T2 by T1, and the last one is V1 by V2. So from this principle some more number of problems will be solved. Now second one is effusion. So effusion, so Graham's law is also applicable for effusion also. So first define the, or we will see the definition of the effusion. The gas escape from higher the gas escape from higher pressure region to space through a fine hole is called effusion. Okay, so best example for the puncture tire, the gas escaped from the puncture tire. So in this what happened, the gas escaped from the higher pressure region to space. So that's why this property of the gas is called effusion. Next, the gas escape from the cylinders. The gas escape from the cylinder is also one of the example for the gas effusion. Okay, so what is the difference between the diffusion and effusion? Effusion is unidirection, and the diffusion is non-directional. And in diffusion what happened, just gases are intermixing and gases are spread or occupy all the available space. But here what happened, the gases is escaped from a fine hole, a small hole. For example, you take a container, so this is a container, so this is a gas, so this gas escapes from only fine hole, and whenever higher pressure region to space. So this property is called effusion, and Graham's law is also applicable for effusion also. And the question is rising is very important. Effusion is unidirectional, diffusion is non-directional. So this is the question is rising here. Okay, next, applications of the Graham's law. Graham's law is used for the separation of isotopes. Graham's law is used for the separation of isotopes. Best example, uranium isotope is 235 and 238. Next one is from this Graham's law of diffusion, unknown gas molar mass will be determined. Unknown gas molar mass will be determined. And the third one is very important, Uncial alarm. Uncial alarm works on Graham's diffusion principle, and Uncial alarm can be used to detect the marsh gas in a coal mines. So marsh gas, here it can, Uncial alarm can determine the marsh gas. So formula is a methane gas. So it is evaluated in coal mines. Okay, so what is these three are the application for the Graham's law of diffusion. It is also applicable for the effusion also, effusion properties also. So first one is separation of isotopes. Uranium isotopes can be separated by the using of Graham's law of diffusion, because here, so how can it determine, how can it separate it? One principle is there, lighter gas more rapidly diffusion than the heavier gas. Okay, next, from this law we can determine the unknown gas of the molar mass. Unknown gas of the molar mass also can be determined by the using of Graham's diffusion law. The third one is Uncial alarm. Uncial alarm works on the principle of Graham's law of diffusion. It can determine the marsh gas, evaluation of the marsh gas in coal mines. Okay, so these are the applications for the Graham's law of diffusion. The next one is Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, so what is the definition of the Dalton's law? First one is the total pressure exerted by the non-reacting gases mixture is equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Okay, for example, you take a container you take one of the container. In this three non-reacting gases mixtures are there. Okay, three non-reacting gases mixture. What is the definition? The total pressure exerted by the mixture of the gas is exactly equal to the sum of the partial pressure of the individual gases. Okay, so partial pressure is nothing but individual gases and exerted some pressure, that is called, for example, it is a P2 pressure, it is a P1 pressure, it is a P3 pressure. Okay. So Dalton's law, once again repeated, at constant temperature and volume, what happened? The total pressure exerted by the mixture of gases is exactly equal to the sum of the partial pressure of the individual gases. Okay, whenever the single gas exerted some pressure, that pressure is called partial pressure. So here nitrogen gas exerts some pressure, that is called partial pressure of the P1. Next, oxygen molecules also exert some pressure, that is a single gas exert pressure is called partial pressure. So oxygen partial pressure is P2, helium partial pressure is P3, and the nitrogen gas partial pressure is P1. And the total gas non-reacting mixtures, you should be here very important, non-reacting mixtures. The gases are non-reacting is very important. So this is the information about Dalton's law of partial pressure. What is the partial pressure here? Single gas exerts some pressure, that pressure is called partial pressure. And the total pressure is exactly equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Okay. In problem is also, the question is given, some individual partial pressures are given, and the volume is also given, and next temperature is also given, and find out the total pressure of the gases. And next one is a partial pressure in terms of mole fraction. Okay, so here is also, you take a container, one of the container having some value at a temperature T1, you take a three non-reacting gases mixture is taken in the container, that is P1, P2 and P3. Okay, and these non-reacting mixtures can act as a ideal gases, ideal gases. So now what happened? According to ideal gas equation, we know that PV is equal nRT. Okay, so from this we can conclude that the partial pressure of the, that means is a P1 V1 equal to N1 RT. Sorry, volume is constant, that's why P1 V. That is one of the ideal gas equation. Next, another ideal gas equation, that is P2 V equal to N2 RT. Next, another ideal gas equation, that is P3V equal to N3 RT. So from this we can conclude that is a P1 equal to N1 RT by V. Next, P2 equal to N2 RT by V. Next, P3 equal to N2 RT by V. So these are the partial pressure of the individual gases. So we know that the total pressure of the non-reacting mixture of the gas is exactly equal to, this is a total pressure of the non-reacting mixture is exactly equal to sum of the individual gases partial pressure, that is P1, P2, P3. So from this we can calculate it here N1 plus N2 plus N3. So whenever we common the RT by V, this is a PT. Now here equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, this is a equation 4. Now here 1 divided by 4. So what happened here? P1 by PT equal to N1 by N1 plus N2 plus N3. So RT by V is divided by RT by V. So RT by V cancel. So what happened here? N1 by, we know that mole fraction of the X1, it is a chi, the representative chi 1 equal to N1 by N1 plus N2 plus N3. So from this we can conclude that is a P1 equal to mole fraction of the gas 1 mole fraction into P total pressure. So this is the equation for the partial pressure. Now from this we conclude that a gas partial pressure is obtained by the multiplying the total pressure of the mixture gases by mole fraction of that gas. Okay, so whenever mole fraction of the gas as well as the total pressure of the gas is are multiplied, then we got a pressure of the individual gas. So from this we can conclude that general equation that is Pi equal to chi I, next P total, the 8th gas equation. Next one is uses. So Dalton's law of partial pressure, it can be used for the determine the total pressure of the mixture. For example, here you take a container at constant temperature and constant volume. What happened? 3 non-reacting gases mixtures are there. So the total pressure is exerted by the non-reacting gas mixtures can be determined. That is the very important uses of the Dalton's law of partial pressure. Next one is very important. We can find out the dry gas pressure. For example, we take a container. Generally, gases are collected over the water in the laboratory. For example, oxygen gas will be collected on the water or over the water. When collected the gas over the water, what happened? It exists dry gas as well as the some water vapor. Here this is moist. So pressure of the moist by the oxygen is exactly equal to dry gas of the oxygen plus some water vapor is also there, that is called vapor pressure. So this vapor pressure can exert some pressure, that is called vapor pressure, and this vapor pressure is also called aqueous tension. Okay, so actually the dry gas pressure is equal to the dry gas pressure is equal to what happened? The total pressure exerted by the gas, that is means is a moist of the oxygen minus aqueous tension, that is vapor pressure. So actually dry gas pressure will be calculated. So here this vapor pressure or aqueous tension is a function of the temperature. That means aqueous tension is directly proportional to temperature. If the temperature increases, aqueous tension increases. So aqueous tension is very important in our topic, and define the aqueous tension. What is that? The pressure exerted by the saturated water vapor. The pressure exerted by the saturated water vapor is called aqueous tension. Or the partial pressure of the water vapor. So here some problem is also there. Oxygen is collected over the water at 28 centigrade. So whenever the oxygen collected on the water, the pressure inside the gas is 745 mmHg. So moist oxygen, how much the pressure? How much the pressure is? 745 mmHg whenever we collected the oxygen. And what is the pressure due to the oxygen alone? If vapor pressure of water is 15 mmHg, so this is vapor pressure is called aqueous tension. Aqueous tension. How much that here? Aqueous tension is a 15 mmHg. Okay, so now here find out the oxygen partial pressure alone. This is a problem. Okay, so from this we can conclude that already we know that partial pressure of the oxygen, that is a dry gas. Okay, so how much here? You subtract the 745 mmHg minus 15 mmHg. The total value is called partial pressure of the dry gas. It is an actual gas pressure. That is how much? The 730 mmHg. Okay, gases ni general ga laboratory lo gases ni వాటర్ పైన కలెక్ట్ చేశారు. సో ఇలా కలెక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఇందులో డ్రై గ్యాస్ ఉంటుంది, విత్ వాటర్ వేపర్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. సో మనకేమి ఇస్తాడు, మనకి టోటల్ వేపర్ ప్రెషర్ ఇస్తాడు. అండ్ హౌ మచ్ ద వాటర్ వేపర్ కూడా ఇస్తాడు. అంటే యాక్వస్ టెన్షన్ తెలిస్తే టోటల్ ప్రెషర్ వస్తుంది, యాక్వస్ టెన్షన్ తెలుసు. సో దాని నుంచి మనం సింగిల్ డ్రై గ్యాస్ యొక్క partial pressure ni find out cheyochu. So this is the uses of the Dalton's law of partial pressure. So Dalton's law of partial pressure nundi maatrame manam dry actually gas yokka pressure ni calculation cheyochu. So this is the one of the another uses of the Dalton's law of partial pressure. So in this aqueous tension is very very important. Aqueous tension is simple, the partial pressure of the vapor, the partial pressure of the saturated water, it is also called. Okay, so what have we learned in this class? First of all, we learned Graham's law of diffusion. The question is rising from the here diffusion and the effusion. Diffusion is a non-directional, effusion is directional or unidirectional. Okay, so Graham's law of diffusion. And the another point, lighter gas is more diffuse than the heavier gas, and the gas containing the spread and occupy the property is called diffusion. Or we can simply say that the mixing of two gases is also called diffusion. Okay, so whenever we open the perfume bottle, what happened? The perfume particles are intermixed with the air and spread and occupy the all available space. Okay, so from this we can conclude that this is the relationship is very very important for solving the problems. That is R1 by R2 equal to square root of D2 by D1, square root of molar mass M2 by M1, square root of vapor density VD2 by VD1, and the time T2 by T1, and the volume is V1 by V2. Only this is a different is V1 by V2, remaining all are 2. So this is the information about Graham's law of diffusion. Next, effusion is a unidirectional, and the gases escape from the higher pressure region to space or lower pressure region through a fine hole is called effusion. Best example for the escape of gas from the cylinder or escape of gas from the punctured tire. Okay, and these are the uses of Graham's law of diffusion. Generally, Graham's law of diffusion is used for the separation of isotopes. Okay, so in isotopes, one is heavier than the other, so that's why we know that lighter gas more diffuse than the heavier. Next, unknown gas molar mass is also can be calculated or determined by the using of Graham's diffusion law. Next, Unsil's alarms works on the Graham's law of diffusion. It can determine the marsh gas in coal mines. And the next one is Dalton's law of partial pressure. So this law is applicable only at a constant temperature and volume. Total pressure by the exerted by the non-reacting gases mixture is exactly equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. So generally we take in a 3 gases. This is a gas mixture and these are the non-reacting gas mixture. So total pressure is exactly equal to individual partial pressure of the individual gases. So individual gas exerts some pressure, that pressure is called partial pressure. Okay, next, partial pressure in terms of the mole fraction. So this is what is the relationship. The partial pressure of the individual gas is exactly equal to mole fraction and it is multiplied with the total total pressure of the non-reacting mixture gas. Okay, and the uses of total pressure of the mixture can be calculated by the using of Dalton's law of partial pressure. Next, dry gas. Actually, gas pressure can be calculated by the using of Dalton's law of partial pressure. What is that here? Aqueous tension is very important. Whenever gases are collected over the water, the dry gas containing some water vapor. So water vapor is also exerts some pressure. That pressure is called aqueous tension. So if you calculated the single or actually gas pressure is exactly equal to the total vapor pressure of the mixture minus partial pressure of the water vapor. Okay, so this is called aqueous tension. Aqueous tension is directly proportional to temperature. If the temperature increases, aqueous tension is also increases. Why? Because here temperature increases, more water molecules are converted into water vapor, and that water vapor molecules are increases, that pressure is also increases. That's why temperature increases, aqueous tension increases. Okay, so this is the information about Dalton's law of partial pressure. In this, aqueous tension is very important.